Welcome back to Captain of Industry, where in our last episode we started to make some gold. You can see over here, this is the gold production, which can seem complex and definitely has multiple steps, and in particular it's really critical to make sure you take care of the toxic slurry. We haven't actually really started to use this gold, so this is full now, but at least it's done. We're ready, for the future. More importantly, we have also started in this corner a quick and dirty production of silicon, or silicon poly to be precise. This is using some hydrogen and some molten silicon. That is basically the first time where we're using an arc furnace. Remember, an arc furnace takes a lot of energy and requires also graphite. But in this case, we don't have a choice. You have to use that. So that's what we're doing over here. And with this silicon poly, we have on this side there started the electronics level 2 production. Because you're first creating PCB with a bit of copper, plastic, and glass, and then you're going to use this PCB as well as a bit of electronics level 1 and silicon poly to make electronics level 2. So that's what's going there. And so in this episode, we're going to start using this electronics level 2. You can actually see I have a reserve over here, a reserve there, and a reserve there. They're all, full. So that is great. What are we going to do with it? Well, the first that I've already started, because it takes a long time, is this one over here. We had already all of these built. Now I just added or unblueprinted the last two, which is the last construction part level 4. Right? With these, we're taking construction part level 3 and these electronics level 2 to make those construction part level 4. So this is this belt that goes here, right? It goes all the way here, and then it drops, and the construction part level 3 are at level 0. Then it goes into this box, and that is the last construction part that we're ever gonna need. So that is really good, to have it done. It's not full yet, but we're gonna get there, because again, this is only 3, so 6 basically right now. All right. So that was the first one, and again, I made it because one, it's a prerequisite for many of the new productions going forward, and second, because it was so small, the production per minute, I wanted to make sure we had a bit of time. But more importantly, we're gonna want over here to start making these household appliances. We did in the past already started to make the household goods. Now with this one, we're gonna make the second type. So let's actually build a couple. I think we're gonna go with 3 right now. I may want to also build a 4th one there, as my population is slowly more but surely growing, right? We're going to get to 3,500 very soon. So that is, right, one thing. We're going to use this electronics level 1, electronics level 2, and a bit of steel. Okay, I made a mistake. I sent... instead of steel, I sent these glasses. So we're gonna need to delete this one. The steel is still there, this was on purpose that I made them next to each other. I just took the wrong one. Right, the steel is the one at the bottom there. Here it is. So I need to have, this is gonna be at level 2, okay. So let's go, we're gonna need a flat lip. We can put it as close as possible like this. Okay. Then we're gonna need a flat conveyor. Like that. And like that. Okay. And then the only thing is now we need to empty all of these, which we can use. We can use a bit of Unity to do it. Quick remove with Unity. Okay, I think we've emptied all of them now. Good. So build that, and let's check it out if it starts working properly or not. Okay, I see them moving. Just the last one. Yeah, the last one's moving too. Perfect. So we're gonna start making some assembly, right? Some household appliances with this. That is great. It's gonna take a bit of time, and let's check. This is 12, so we're making 36 right now. In the city, therefore, we're gonna want to build this household appliances module. But as you can see, this is both the first building that will require those construction part level 4, and it is also going to require something here different, right? All of the previous, they require maintenance level 1. This is going to require maintenance level 2, the gold one. So we're gonna build it, but we need to make sure that we also start providing maintenance level 2. Good thing is I have prepared that, don't worry, it's over here. We had maintenance level 1 here, right? Now we have maintenance level 2. Let's select, of course, the recipes, as always. So it's gonna take, again, some mechanical parts, the same mechanical parts that are here, but electronics level 2 instead of electronics level 1, right? And create that maintenance. Now, I don't think we're gonna need 2 anytime soon, but let's build all of this, and this is the output of recyclables, right? Because remember, you're taking out recyclables, and so we're sending them here, and they go and they get recycled. We will need at some point to also add the gold here, but for now it's fine. So yeah, we're low on maintenance level 2, but that should get started. Here it is, 25%, it's increasing. And yeah, we can see we don't really need a lot right now. 1.2, and we're making 400, so that's gonna be totally fine. But yeah, this is needed for this building here. And very soon we can start sending some, right? From this production, right? I'm sure it has started. Yeah, there it is. We have 180. So let's actually see the first truck that's gonna come together. Let's see it. Come on, you can do it. I know my trucks are actually very busy right now, mostly because I'm doing a lot of digging and dumping, but still, it is good to have that done. Come on. I may have to increase the importance of that. What's the importance I put here? Yeah, maybe let's put these at number 6. You know, the dumping is not that important, so it's number 9, but let's put somebody at number 6. It also, you know, takes a bit of time because usually some trucks are already busy doing something, so they first need to finish what they're doing and then they come here, right? So let's see, come on, you can do it. Still nothing. At least the good thing is with this, we're making some good. Oh no, I know why. Look at this. This is cannot export, so that's the problem. We should probably also put this. So here it is. I saw a truck come already here. It is right. Yes, these are dishwasher and things like this. Here it is. They're coming here, and so my Sonic is on. Sonic is on, and so by the way, we're talking about 24, so it's not nothing. Good thing I built 3, and so yeah, we're now going to provide on top of this 2.8 of unity, and more than that, it has also increased the unity of all of the other ones, because now we've moved from the 75% bonus to the 100% bonus, right? So we're getting really great bonuses on all of these. This is cool, like 2.4 for electricity, 2 for food, 2.8 for household goods, and for appliances. So again, really good stuff here. I'm happy. This is giving us 4 unity points right now. And it was important for me to do this because we were actually basically at 0 of unity. So yeah, I wanted to make that possible so we can start, you know, getting more things from the one map or start some contracts. But yeah, this is the next thing, the household appliances. So let's start taking things out. We've done that one. We've done that one. I know we still haven't done the luxury goods. So let's go also to the hospital, because the hospital is another one we haven't done, which will help for my population, right? It will reduce basically the disease, both the number of disease and the impact of diseases too, right? So I have made it over here. Why I've made it over here? Because you need a farm and you need a bit of water for those farms plus for the production. And here, you know, we have a water deposit. We have also one there, but it's already pretty much tapped. And this one is hard to access. So I went over here. This is not, you know, the end game. This is actually just the first level of medicals. In the future, we'll get other levels of medical. And on top of this, this is also, as I said, not really probably the last place we're gonna put it on. but it's working. So what's happening? Maybe as always, let's start by the end, right? At the end, you have this assembly that will take medical equipment and disinfectant to make those medical supplies level 1. Those medical supplies level 1 will then be sent into a hospital at your city. So let's maybe build that so you can see in a couple of minutes that this is working. So you're gonna need to choose which one you want to give in the clinic. In this case right now we only have access to medical supply level 1. Medical supply level 2 is over here and level 3 is over there. So it's gonna be in the future. But yeah, we have over here, right, we're telling them please take my medical supplies, and this is going to give us some unity bonus, some health bonus, and it's going to also reduce the mortality rate of any disease that we have. You know, if you have the flu, the mortality rate maybe is 1%. If you have a nuclear explosion, the mortality rate is like 50%, but this is going to reduce it. Let's make sure we also put this, and this should be level 6. Okay, tell me actually if it's below 50. Same here, tell me if it's below 50. Good. So we are going to start that one, but let's go back to the production. As you saw, this requires two different things, the medical equipment and the disinfectant, which are those two, storages here. So the medical equipment, this is another assembly line that is taking plastic and steel. So right now I have those two storages over here, right? The plastic and the steel. Then one goes at level 0, one at level 1, it goes down, and then the output here. That's a very simple one. For the other one, on the other hand, we're gonna need a chemical plant. Right now we only have access to a chemical plant level 1. In the future we'll probably want chemical plant level 2, but this is what we have. And there is actually only one way to make it, by the way. One way to make it, for both things there's only one way to make it, so you don't really have a choice. But where it becomes a bit more complex is you need to make ethanol, and that you have several ways to make. You also need plastic, so same as here, so that's why it's kind of organized like this, where you have the plastic at level 0 that goes to those 4, but also goes here. And by the way, yes, in terms of ratios, this is 12 and 12, this makes 6, so you need the double, right? Right now I have 1 build, so I need 2 build like this. If I want to build both of these, I need 4. Versus this one is already 12, so it's fine, it's 1 to 1. This requires, as I said, ethanol. Now, ethanol, you have in the future 3 ways to make it. Right now, we only have 1. So that's what we're using, the fermentation tank. That's going to take some oxygen, which is why we have over here, right, this air separator. The nitrogen is sent into the atmosphere, and the oxygen is sent directly into it. We have some carbon dioxide, but it's very small, it's only 12, so I'm just sending it into the atmosphere. And it requires something new again, the corn mash. Corn mash, you have only one way to do. It is to take your corn and put water, and it's going to create corn mash and a bit of animal feed. So this is what's happening on this side. The ratios are a bit different, which is also why I've put these fluid storages over here. But basically, I suggest you have one of these, because that's gonna make 8, and you need basically 9. So like 9 if you have both built. So the idea is right now I only have one build, so this is totally fine. When I have both builds, I can just put a bit of unity on this one, or I can just say, okay, instead of creating basically 48 in total, I'm gonna create 40. And in this case here, 9. You need 12, so 1 is enough at the beginning, 2 in the future, right? When we want it to be working really fully, we are just burning the animal feed because it's really small amounts. And yeah, the corn comes from those 2 farms over here, where you put corn and just the rotation or the manure to increase the soil fertility without any fertilizer. You need water, so we have the water that comes from here, right? It goes into the farm, and it also goes here into that production. It's only 3, so it's really not that much. But yeah, this is how we're making our medical supply. Now it is looking empty because some trucks just came to bring it over here. So let's check it out. I think we should have, yeah, medical supply is basically full. We need 18 per minute for my city right now. And yeah, we're getting one unity point thanks to those hospitals. So we're now at 5.5 unity points like on top. In total, I'm making 17. So that is really good. The only thing I'm missing right now is those luxury goods that come from the gold. But it's not just gold. If it was just gold, I would have done it already. It's because it's gold and something else. I do see that my steel production seems to be going a bit down because, we're using steel here, we're using steel there, we're using steel here, and we only have 4 that are working. So, and I see this is empty too. I need to check that in a second. But yeah, I'm thinking basically what we're gonna do is make at least 2 new ones, and that should hopefully be enough. So yeah, we're a bit low on some of these, but again, I think the problem is more that all of my trucks are super busy, so they don't have the time to transport the resource. Because if you look there, I have tons of iron. This is not a problem. Or if you look here, we have tons of coal. This is not a problem. And so what are all of these trucks doing? Well, I have trucks over here really destroying the last part of this mountain. I have also a lot of trucks that have been working on this side, destroying this mountain here. That is still, a bit in the way. And by the way, they're dumping here, right? We're dumping more and more into this. And last but not least, I also have trucks working very hard here. Huge mountain, right? It's a huge mountain, right? I would love to be able potentially, that would be great if at some point they create tunnels instead of, having to destroy the whole mountain, you can create a tunnel. But yeah, we have over here, I'm trying to basically go on the other side, because on the other side, we're gonna start getting access to a lot of this copper. Why? Because this copper mine here is actually slowly but surely getting empty, right? We have some reserves of copper, so I'm not worried yet, but we do need to get ready for the future. In particular, given that there is no copper mine, here, at least none that I have seen so far, or that I have access to. So this is, why I wanted to make that a bit a priority, if you wish. But yeah, I can see this is putting some strains on my resources. We will get soonish access to the bigger trucks. They're over here, the mega vehicles. This one can dump 180, while these guys here, where are you? Where are you? Oh, all the way there. Yeah, that's been a while. These guys were only 60, right? So it's 3 times bigger. But yeah, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So anyway, I'm going to probably take a couple of trucks out of these, because yeah, they're working too hard right now. I'd love to finish that one. So maybe, make sure we have good reserves of these. And it is, listen, it's a couple of minutes later, and you can see this is pretty much all full. We're getting great output there. This is now also fully built, so this is full. We have some great reserve. And over here, I have started to do the same thing we did before with actually the coal mine that used to be there and the iron mine that used to be there, right? I'm trying to just empty all traces of it from the ground by using a lot of those deposits over here. So yeah, I don't know. Let's check how much resource we have. Copper ore. We have, no, this is the production. It's here. We have right now 38,000. So that's it. Again, a lot of great storage for it. We are almost done. There's a bit more progress to be done also on this side. But yeah, I'm going to start then filling it back up, especially on this side. As you can see, there's not a lot of space to cross. So I'm gonna restart filling it back up. And we're also making sure to dig on this side to arrive to the next mine, and we're actually already there. You can see there is some traces on the ground there. So yeah, we are getting there. So I am not worried anymore with this. I do want to mention also that we have moved my shipyard back to almost the starting place, right? So over here, it's back here, and we are, basically making sure, you know, all of this used to be water, and all of this used to be water. I'm just going all the way to try to make it kind of straight. We will have to manage sometimes small things like this where I can just move them later on. But yeah, it's also helping, of course, for all of the stone we're getting from here and from there. And last but not least, over here, I have, by the way, built the whole thing. So that way my production is really great. I still have people, so I'm not too worried. And I am using all of this, you know, Unity we got, because let's not waste it, let's use it. I'm using it to try to reduce many things, like my vehicle and cargo ship fuel consumption. I'm using it to reduce my maintenance, recycling efficiency, so that we have to dig less, right? If I recycle more, I have to dig less, that makes sense. Reducing the water consumed, and last but not least, making that my trucks can be overloaded by 30%. So instead of, you know, transporting 60, they can transport, let's say, 100, right? It does require more maintenance, so keep that in mind. And in the future, we'll probably stop doing it, but right now, given that we're trying to move a lot of rocks and soil from here to there, I felt it was a good idea. Last but not least in this episode, let's work a bit on this piece. First, I have built here 2 statues of maintenance. You can find them over here, the statue of maintenance, right? And this is a building that will consume some fuel gas, which is why, you know, in the past, you may remember I said, we need a bit of reserve of fuel gas before we crack it. And this is what's happening over here. First, my gas is going there. It's a small amount, to be honest, like 2, right? But the problem is if you don't give it, you're gonna get a big penalty. So make sure you're never out of this one. And that's why also obviously we have an alarm there. Now, each of these statue of maintenance is going to reduce your global maintenance, your maintenance cost, right? The level 1 and level 2. But the more you build, the less it's gonna give you. So the first one gives you 4% reduction. The second gives you only 2%. So, you know, 4 plus 2 equals 6. Then the third is only going to be 1%. So it basically divides by 2 every time. So I feel like, you know, the first 2, maybe the third one are kind of a good investment. After this, it feels like you can do it maybe for the beauty of it, because it's a pretty beautiful building for sure, but it's not going to change much on, you know, the scale. I do see that my maintenance level 2 is going down. So let me check what's happening. Is there a problem? No. Oh no, we're back to 100. Okay, so no, all good. I think it was just a temporary issue, you know? Okay, so that is done, but that's not all. If we look at my research, yes, statue of maintenance, great, we've done that. But we also have power generation level 4, which brings a couple of new buildings. First, we have the big cooling towers, which are not just big, they are more efficient. Because if you look at my old ones, it was giving me half, right? Half of the steam, whatever type of steam, high, medium or low, we were getting half into water, right? With now these new ones, these big ones, we're going to get more than half. We're getting 75%. So this is definitely better. Additionally, we're also going to need less, right? Because this is huge, 96, versus this was only 24. So I could potentially replace all of these with, you know, the big ones. And we're gonna do it actually in a second. It does cost, of course, more, but actually you can see this is, you know, still level 3, the red one, it's not level 4, and it's not that much more. So definitely it's a great investment. Then we also have in electricity the evolution of our turbines. We had turbines level 1, now we are level 2. And it basically doubles, right? You can see it takes 48 instead of 24, it creates 12 instead of 6, and 20 and 48, you know, low steam instead of 24. So it is just double. Instead of having, you know, 2 of these, you could have only 1 of these. So why would you do this? Well, honestly, only for the population, right? Because the cost is higher. Instead of level 2 construction part, the gold ones, now we need level 4. So that's definitely a bigger investment. And it also requires maintenance level 2 instead of maintenance level 1, which requires electrical components, right? Level 2, which takes a lot more. So it's not that great. The only good thing is it takes 2 people, and this one takes 2 also. So you're basically using 2 instead of 4, right? Because it's 2 plus 2. So the only gain is you gain 2 people. I really don't think it's a great thing, to be honest. And yeah, maybe you take a bit less space and, you know, slightly less complex belts and pipes. But honestly, I don't think it's a great investment, especially at this point. Maybe late game, of course, we'll use those ones. But for now, I don't suggest you use them. I think it's totally fine to not use them. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below if you disagree. And it's the same, you know, for the low pressure. Again, as you just double the whole thing, but you increase the cost, you increase the maintenance, and it's just gaining 2 people. On the other hand, what is a huge change is the power generator. The power generator level 1 was transforming 3 megawatts of mechanical power into 2 megawatts of electricity, right? Versus this one here is going to transform 18 into 15. So it's actually way more efficient, right? I mean, to say it differently is here, this is making 18 in total, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 3, that's 18. But in terms of output, you have 6 times 2, that's 12, right? Versus one of these is going to actually make 15. So you are making definitely a lot more electricity for the same amount of mechanical power, which means for the same amount of coal, water, or whatever you're using to create this steam, right? So that one definitely you should do. Now the only sort of complexity is you don't want your whole city to crash while you're destroying those things, right? So it's good to have another one. Basically, we're gonna put this one on so that then I have enough electricity, hopefully to, you know, delete quickly this one and replace it by this. Okay. Because right now this cannot work, right? There's no output for the mechanical power. So this has stopped to a halt, but this one is working in the meantime. Now this one is going to be working in a second. Go for it. Here it is. It's getting started, as you can see. Good. So the efficiency. Oh, why is my? Oh yeah, no, sorry, my bad. We have so much power here that this one was not needed right now. But yeah, it's definitely going to be needed now, as we're gonna do the same for all the other ones, right? And unfortunately, you also have to delete the flywheels because the space, right, is not the same. So we need a bit more space, basically. I'm gonna use my Unity for all of this, given how it's one, not that easy for the trucks to get there, and second, it is also not, you know, it's gonna take a long time if I do with trucks. And then we use Unity again, but now, yeah, we have always, you know, others that can work. So I think not a problem. We did also lose, by the way, potentially a bit of accumulated power. So that's a small waste, but if you don't want to lose it, what you can do is you can pause these ones so that it goes to 0 and then destroy them. But I'm not, you know, it's fine. We have enough resources to be able to delete this one and waste a bit of accumulated power. So it is, we're going to now put this one, and that means now my total power, right, is gonna be higher than at the start for the same amount of inputs. And then we can repose now these guys, right? They are not needed anymore. Good. I may have to also restart some of these priority things, but it's okay, it's fine. So it is, we are now making more 80 and for the same inputs. So it is, ladies and gents, that was good progress to really get started with those more advanced production. We have the final construction parts, we have maintenance level 2, household appliances, electricity, right? Slightly better electricity production, even if clearly we're gonna need to increase that at some point. We have the maintenance statue, and we've also unlocked a couple of others. In particular, in the next episode, we will definitely have to do our research lab next level, research lab level 3 to be precise, which will, by the way, again, of course, take some electronics level 2, so that we can then get into the next level, right? Because they all need this research lab level 3 to be able to do. And there is a lot of things here, including rocket assembly will start there, but it's not the end at all. As you can see, there is much more after. So I hope you're still enjoying this one. Do tell me in the comments below if you have any questions, photo requests. You can check blueprints on my Discord community, and I hope to see you next time.